All right, today we are going to be talking about mixture problems, which comes from section 7.7 in the book, starting on page 321. Oops. That was interesting. All right, so on page 321, normally I don't go through the examples in the book because I figure you guys can read them on your own and then also have my examples, so that kind of doubles the amount of examples you get. However, I think there's a lesson to be learned from dissecting examples in the book, and so I want to kind of show you guys how I would read an example from the book, dissect it, learn from it, and use it as a guide for future problems. So that's what I'm going to start with today. So straight from page 321, in the book, we're going to do this first mixture problem. It's example 1. As usual, we'll be using the 5-step method for problem solving. The first method being reading the problem, obviously. So you should have your book open to page 321, following along with me. In this problem, we're talking about a health food store selling a mixture of raisins and roasted nuts. Raisins sell for $3.50 per kilogram, and nuts sell for $4.75 per kilogram. How many kilograms of each should be mixed to make 20 kilograms of this snack worth $4 per kilogram? Now, just like you, I can't read that question and know the answer. It requires organization and planning. First of all, for all these mixture problems, we're going to be using a chart. And in that chart, we're going to have some headings that are going to help us on our way to solving this problem. So the first thing in step 1 of the 5-step method for problem solving is just figuring out what the problem is asking for. And it's asking for the number of kilograms of raisins and the number of kilograms of nuts. So we're going to make a chart. Here's a blank one. And let's make some headings. It's very important to have the headings on every single chart you make. It helps to memorize what the headings are going to be in the chart, and it helps the reader and also you to remember what goes where when you're making the chart. So we're talking about a number of kilograms of raisins and nuts. And then we're also going to mix them up, so we can call that the mixture. Along with number of kilograms, we're going to multiply that times the price per kilogram. And when we multiply those, that is going to equal the total cost of each thing. So yeah, I put total cost. You can just put cost if you want. Okay. So now we have some variables we need to put in. It does not tell us how many kilograms of raisins and nuts we have. In fact, that's what we're trying to find out. So we need to make one of them a variable. So remember, part of the 5-step problem-solving method is identifying and defining your variable. You don't actually have to say that x equals the number of kilograms of raisins because it's in that cell of the chart. So if I put x there, you can tell it's number of kilograms of raisins because it comes from both of these headings, right? One of the tricky parts of this is to figure out what kind of variable declaration we should have for nuts. It gives us some information. We can't put x here because you can't do that because they don't say that raisins and nuts are the same amount. So I'm going to take away that x I put there. It says that we're going to have 20 kilograms total. Okay, so what you can do is you can write 20 minus x. Okay, so if x is the number of raisins, so let's say, for instance, that we had 12 kilograms of raisins, that would leave 8 kilograms of nuts because 20 minus 12. Okay, so you're always going to do the total minus the other thing to get the nuts. Okay, so total minus raisins equals nuts. And the mixture is given as 20, so we're going to write that in. Everything else is, all the prices per kilogram are given. So it's $3.50 for raisins. I'll just put 3.5. It is $4.75 for nuts. And when we mix them, it's going to be $4 for each of the mixture. You can put 50 here instead of 3.5 if you like. Now the total cost, here's where the heading really helps out. It helps us get this total cost because the heading tells us we're going to multiply the kilograms times the price. We're going to multiply this. So 3.5x, we have 4.75 times 20 minus x, and we have $4 times 20, so 80. The equations are going to be almost exactly the same every time. Essentially, we're going to say total cost of the raisins added to the total cost of the nuts is going to equal the total cost of the mixture. So just like most of the charts we've done in the past, the equation comes from that right column there. So let's write that out. So the total cost of raisins plus the total cost of nuts equals the total cost of the mixture. Again, so that's step 3 of the 5-step problem-solving method, is making an equation. And step 4 is actually solving the equation. So first we're going to distribute that 4.75. Or, let's see how the book does it. You could turn everything into cents first. Okay, that's what they did first. And that's fine. We can do that as well. There's a couple different ways you can go about solving this. So to turn everything into cents, we need to multiply by 100. The reason we might do that is to get rid of these decimals here. So we're dealing with only whole numbers, or integers, which is nice. So we end up with 350x plus 475 times 20 minus x. Do not forget to multiply by 100 on the right side as well, or else you'll have dollars on one side and cents on the other. And that wouldn't make sense. Alright, so we're going to keep simplifying. And what's 475 times 20? I don't know, let's see, 8, 9, 50, 9,500 maybe? Hopefully that's right. And then we can combine the x terms. That gives us, what, negative 125x, I think. And then I'm going to subtract 9,500 from both sides and get negative 1,500. I guess I could look at the book if I didn't know what 20 times 475 was. And then when we do this division, we get x equals 12. Okay, so as usual, we've just completed step 4 of the 5-step problem-solving method, and we have not yet solved the problem. So you always want to reread the question, which is how many kilograms of each? Okay, so we know what x is. Let's go back up here. We know that x is raisins. So now we know that there are 12 raisins, 12 kilograms of raisins, and that 20 minus x is nuts. So we know that we have 8 nuts. And I totally made that up in the beginning with 12 and 8. I didn't actually realize that was going to be the answer, but it was just lucky, I guess. All right, so that's the first example. Next video will be example 2. I can figure out how to turn this off.